So we're here with Jordan and BDD. We're going to talk about some of the reasons why you haven't seen the cars in the garage over the summer.
Hang on. We do need Jay here for this.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to call the landscaper. He's late for everything. I swear to God, this guy. We're shooting. We started it, but you're not here. What's going on? All right. Okay, fine. We'll just do it without you. Well, then get over here. Yes, come back, please. All right, bye. Always with this guy. He's coming. What is he doing?
He's driving on the grass.
He destroys everything. Absolutely everything.
I was waiting on you guys. I was just admiring the landscaping here.
Are you guys ready?
I'm bleeding now.
Guys, welcome to the show.
So I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Where the heck did all of our cars go?
They're in shops around the country being repaired or maintenance.
We've got so many problems with these damn cars. Do you ever get sick of having
I'm so sick of it, it's not even funny.
So we're going to go over a list today that Brett's going to help us with, that Brett has compiled.
You know, it's bad when we have to have a list to talk about all of our cars in the shop.
It's really,
Do you guys
for
know
$4 million cars, it's shameful.
Shameful. I agree with you.
And we don't put hardly any miles on these cars.
Well, I don't know if that's true.
We drive them. Something on this list, some stuff might surprise you. You know, I don't even know if you're fully aware of some of them.
You might get pissed off.
So these cars between the collection, this is Jordan's, BDD's, and Triple FJ's cars. There's a total of 10 right now that are not in the garage. 10 total need issues corrected.
Do you know what's wrong with the
Yes.
segregator?
Some electronic issues and charging the car and various other et cetera, et cetera.
So one of the unfortunate parts about the Koenigsegg is it's not super local. It has to go out to California in order to get done. So it went out for its annual service. It had a check engine light that was coming and going. So I worked with some of the techs remotely on that. They were able to, over Wi-Fi, kind of download some new software. It's a really cool process, but they couldn't quite get it away. So during the annual service, they got that taken care of with the check engine light. And
This was back in June.
Yeah.
And then Car Week happened, so there was no trucks coming east. So that prolonged delivery a good 3 weeks. So when it came back, as Jordan mentioned, had the check engine light and had to go right back out.
When do we expect it back? What's the latest update?
It's probably going to be 3 months.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, thank you.
It's going to be more like 1 to 2 weeks.
The problem is we wait for summertime to take these cars out and have fun, and then in the past 3 months, they've all broken down.
He obviously doesn't know how we drive them.
And what's next on our list?
The Bugatti Chiron.
So the Bugatti is currently here,
Yes.
but it's waiting to leave to go to Miller for service because it still has the leaking axle boot on the driver's side, and it also has broken light on the passenger side. So November 2nd, the Bugatti gets picked up.
One more note on the Bugatti. I want to say, I think Bryce
What'd you do to it,
bumped
Bryce?
it or did something to it.
He screwed up the window. How'd you do that?
I rolled it down.
Oh yeah, Bryce was in it. He went to
roll
roll down the window, and the window switch came off. Can you believe that?
No, I don't.
So next
You know?
on the list is the Hummer H1, which you probably recently seen in a video, but Triple FJ had some fun with that one.
No, I don't know what happened to that
At
one.
Jordan's expense.
No,
Always at my expense.
I don't know what happened there.
You don't know what happened there? Well, Triple FJ decided to floor the H1 doing donuts for minutes at a time.
While you were encouraging me.
No. Halfway. So we had to take it into the shop. That had to go to Evans Automotive. It was about a $12,000 repair job. So typical for Triple FJ getting a hold of something.
Yeah. To answer some questions, that does have the 6.6 liter Duramax in it. Allison transmission built by Predator. So I know there was a lot of comments you should put a Duramax in it or have Predator build it. That's what it is.
We did.
And we broke it in a week. Well, I should say Jay broke it in a week.
In one video.
Right.
I mean, that was probably like 20 minutes in.
Next one's P1.
Oh, you're going right to the P1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about the P1, Jordan.
What do you think about the P1 so far?
It's the costliest car we've ever owned.
Absolutely it is.
Yes.
So it was going in, we cracked the windshield pretty good on the Savage Rally. Brett was driving, saw a gigantic rock come up and hit it.
I was driving, Bryce was filming, and we heard it, didn't see anything at first, and then we looked down and there it was.
Well, we didn't do that. Brett did it. Let's clarify.
Of course he did.
Well, we didn't break the windshield.
He was driving way too
had
close
nothing to
for
do
how,
with it.
for how fast we were driving.
Exactly. You know, the faster you go, the more stuff flies off. I don't know if you realize that.
You had to get back to Philly to get the window replaced. 10 hours of labor just to remove the dash, to remove the window. 10 hours labor to put it back, but they also found some other issues. Jordan, do you want to touch on that?
So the windshield alone was $22,000. So that, I mean, which includes labor, but that's incredibly expensive. Everything on that car is just even beyond hypercar standards, it seems to just be insane. The gas station that we have at the garage, the autofill, didn't click off the gas. So that overfilled pretty quickly. And so when it went in, they looked at some of the stuff, got into the engine bay a little bit. Some things got soaked. So it's about $6,000 worth of replacement parts for gas getting in it.
Oh, is it that much? I didn't know it was
Yeah,
that
it's
much.
about $6,000.
Oh my gosh.
But then while it's in, it's like, that's already enough. Then I get a call that the hybrid drive assembly, HDA, is leaking. You could only like replace the entire thing. $84,000.
Convenient for them.
Yep, and they just recently announced a repair kit in August for this. That'll be $40,000, but nothing seems to be available until January, February.
It's like a patch kit though.
Yeah.
If you want it fully repaired, it's $84,000.
Yeah. Car's done for the rest of the year until January, February. Done in the shop. Won't even get to see it. So
sad.
That car has been about $200,000 to $300,000 so far in abnormal repair costs.
That's a tough one to keep around, isn't it?
It is. It is my absolute favorite car, and it is the car I also hate the most. So I mean, as much as I love that car, we're considering selling it. That is on the chopping block.
You heard it here first.
P1 on the chopping block.
News alert.
Thought I'd never say it.
While we're talking about McLaren, there's one of BDD's favorites that hasn't been seen on the channel or in the garage for quite some time. What's going on with the Sabre?
Well, supposedly it's overseas being checked out by analysts.
We had this, the same problem happen about 3 or 4 times in a row.
Yes.
Each step got more extensive and more involved with the techs from over in the UK working on it with McLaren Philadelphia.
So just electrical issues that they kept on sending it back to us. We found the smoking gun. Last us, what, a couple days?
Yep.
And then it would come back on. So they never were really able to identify. So they said, we're going to take it back and we're going to take it down far enough to where 100% sure we've kind of fixed and identified all the electrical issues.
So not just a little electrical issue. We were on our way to a car meet. This is how it first popped up, and we were filling up at the gas station. And what happened with that?
Well, I got to the gas station, I filled up, and then I went to go and
Dead.
wouldn't start.
Dead.
Well, it started
All
screaming
errors.
at you. Yeah, every beeping function you
I'd
can
have
think
to
of.
like go through like 6 or 7 like error messages. Well, the
So-
funny thing is everybody just left me, and then I was just sitting on a curb talking to support.
Well,
Your son even left you. He jumped in with me.
Right, I know.
Well,
this is how they treat me.
well, you did. Well, you did tell everybody that we can't miss the meet. So go on. Was that just, were you being facetious or what?
Yeah, it was a test and you failed.
Okay.
All of you guys did, so.
So the Sabre got crated, air freighted back to the UK. They're currently pulling it apart. They believe that they found some of the electrical problems, and they're going to be talking with us this week about some potential upgrades that are going to make this Sabre a true one of one, even out of the one of 15 that it already is. So that hasn't been here for months. Probably still won't be here for months.
We should ask the subscribers, what kind of one-off mods would be cool on the Sabre? What do you guys want to see?
A jet motor put on it.
The seats are too narrow for me.
That's on the
Upgrade
list.
the seats for you to be more of a luxurious Sabre.
Yeah.
Luxury edition. Okay.
So next we'll move on to the Porsche Gt4. Hasn't been on the channel since Savage, so what's going on there?
It has a couple dents on the passenger side door.
Which we did discuss prior to Savage, but then...
We did, but then, we decided to take it. It's already got a couple dents in it. Let's just take it. If something happens, it happens.
And when you say that, what's going to happen?
Something happened.
Something happened.
Something happens.
Correct. So while we were on the rally, it was a downpour. One of the drivers driving the GT4 had a little hydroplaning, and the driver's side back end slid into another car's front bumper, and had a little exchange insurance information. So thankfully it was mostly PPF.
Yeah, it
So
was.
a testament to Esoteric and all the protection that they do. It saved, it's worth its weight in gold. It saved so much body damage. So the only thing that'll end up getting replaced on it will be the wing. The little chip out of the wing.
And that was even
Yeah.
we could have got away with not replacing it, but might as well while it was there.
Yep, so that should be back in a couple weeks here.
So we'll move on to one of the more reliable cars that we've had in the garage for a while, the Pagani Huayra NVBC. What's going on with that?
So it's going back for an annual service. It's also going to go back to get the smart gas update to make the transmission a lot smoother. I mean, it is.
I love driving the one they had. They brought the
other blue
Roadster
one.
BC, and then they brought one just to show us
What the Smart Fuel had on.
how much it changed the driving
Gotcha.
experience.
So it also came up with an Air. It's had for a couple months now, but it's a big red exclamation point with what looks like a gear around it. So we're not sure what that means. I've talked with service a couple times, and
No issues running the car. Nothing seems to be, but
well,
you don't want to
that
push
we
it.
know of. The whole thing could just explode at any point in time.
Well, that's kind of a scary
It is.
thing to come up, like exclamation, gear, destruction, problem.
Yeah, fix me now.
Right.
Okay, so that also goes in at the end of the month. So we'll get all the updates on it and see what issues we have with it.
Yeah, these hypercars are super sensitive. Any type of malfunction, you're going to know about it. Next is the 918.
Now that's not that big of a deal. The 918 currently has a check engine light that's been at the Landscaper FFJs for a little while.
Hopefully it starts too, because I don't like to plug them in.
I tell them every time, please.
It's super annoying to me to have to plug these things in, and I don't do it, and it works fine. So I'm not buying that you have to plug them in.
I'm not buying it.
I'm not.
No more hybrids for
Well,
Jay.
we'll get to the Speedtail soon.
Well, I haven't plugged in the LaFerrari or the 918.
Have you been driving them at all?
Yeah.
So the 918 is another one that we've all decided should probably go on the chopping block. So it's one that we don't drive a lot. It's lower on the totem pole. We call this bottom slicing. We have a lot of cars coming in, so we need
got
to
to
start.
make room, really. You can't enjoy all of them when you have so many. So we want to.
Correct. And
Bottom slice.
we've always said we don't want a museum to walk through.
No.
We want cars that we want to drive. We want to actually get in these things, use them. If we're not using them, then they're on the
Then we
chopping
look
block.
to get out of them.
That's
yes.
right.
Next is the F40.
Ooh.
The F40. So this is somewhat of a complicated situation.
Yes.
The F40 was apparently bought on my part with bad turbos and some more internal issues with the motor. So again, going to George Evans and Evans Automotive, you kind of like peeling back layers of an onion. They would go one layer further down, and at the end of the day, it needed an entire engine rebuild.
Just screw it, rebuild the whole thing.
Rebuild
right?
the whole thing. So that's going to be $100,000 at least of an engine rebuild. That should be back in about 5 weeks.
What's your percentage to pay? All of it?
I'm not sure yet. We still have to discuss with the parties that helped me buy it. We had 2 pre-purchase inspections done on this vehicle. Supposedly all the service history, about I think 45 to 50 pages of service history was gone through, and you know that it's a tough pill to swallow when you have 2 PPIs and you're paying people
On top of it.
a fee to kind of pass through and make sure that the car is good, and you get something that needs a $100,000 fix virtually immediately, confirming that it was like that before I got it.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, we'll kind of detail that out more as we get more information. But for now, that's down for the count for the next 6 weeks.
Is that the last one on the list?
We got one more.
Okay.
The infamous McLaren Cracktail. Speedtail.
The Speedtail. What did you do to the Speedtail?
There's nothing wrong with it now.
Well, maybe not now, but what happened? Do you know
What'd
what
you
happened?
do?
I didn't do a thing.
Yeah, you did. No, what did you do to the Speedtail?
I didn't do anything that I know of.
A while ago, not recently. What did you do? What did you back into?
We all know that. I don't want to
Don't make him relive that.
No, we're just talking.
We don't want to
I don't
relive
want to
that.
talk about that.
For our
Look,
friends out
look.
here that don't know, we have to talk about it. Should we just
Right.
reference to the video?
It's also how Jason earned his nickname.
That right there is through the carbon. Do you see that? That's bare. Do you see this right here? That's bare right there. Do you see this?
I don't think so.
No, what do you mean? Like, just look with your eyeballs.
Well, you're just gonna have to get it covered and deal with it. You just have a stuffed car now.
No, they fix it up the best they can.
No, they
Exactly, the best they can.
The McLaren Cracktail video is one of our favorites.
It is.
But
You know,
I mean, now,
sometimes
like,
you gotta
now you
laugh
can
at
look
it,
back
yes.
and yeah, it's
easier now that it's been fully repaired. It looks great.
Yeah.
You can't tell.
yeah,
what
you can't
happened.
tell.
So one of the odd systems on the Speedtail was wireless charging for the hybrid battery.
Not just on the Speedtail, of any car ever built.
Correct. So very odd. Normally you have to plug things in. So it was a new system. There's only 106 cars produced plus the XP models. So not a lot of testing on these hypercars, period. But so you drive over this charger. The front of the car is over it by 6 inches or so. It's supposed to wirelessly charge. You see it on there charging. We confirmed it was charging, and it was, if it gets some spotty Wi-Fi or it doesn't connect, it'll disconnect itself and then it won't recognize that it's over it. So it was like that for a while, wasn't aware of it, went to go open it, completely dead.
So you can't even open the doors.
So we're all good. Remember, we talked about I needed to drive it. The techs were there all day. They went through the 12-volt system, so that we'll kind of walk through all that. But that was dead for a little while. Had to get 2 techs out here that travel the country.
The McLarens are fine cars, and they stand behind them.
They do.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the executives and everything that they do in response to some of the problems that they've had?
I think they've been on top.
I think they've done a great job. I just wish that we didn't have to go to them and even use.
Right. You don't want to know how good they are. They've been top notch, but
Right.
you don't want to know that.
Yeah.
No.
It's put us in a
Tough
interesting situation.
I call it a predicament.
Predicament. Yeah.
What else we got on the list?
Is that
I mean that's it for issues.
How many is that?
That's 10.
10.
10 cars currently
10 out
have
of
issues.
13 hypercars, I believe.
Yeah, if you consider some of them, yes.
Yeah, 10 out of 13 hypercars right now have problems in the shop or need to go to the shop.
Can we just talk about the fact that one of the most reliable cars is not only leaving but American?
The Ford GT.
Porsche GT.
Yes. That car hasn't had a single issue.
Well, we're gonna jump into what cars are leaving, what cars are on
Well,
the chopping block.
why don't we say out of the 3 cars that don't have issues? So 10 out of the 13 are currently unusable, pretty much. So the 3 that we're able to drive would be the McLaren Senna, the 1954 300 SL. If we're considering that a hypercar. Jason doesn't like to because the...
Jordan's considering that a hypercar.
I am.
I'm on the line.
It was a
about that.
hypercar of the era.
I agree with that.
You can't consider the F40 a hypercar then, right, either, do you?
I do.
Why?
You know, I can consider anything I want a hypercar because I'm the one considering it. So.
Okay. True. Good point.
The other thing is the LaFerrari, we've had no issue.
We love the
LaFerrari.
LaFerrari.
Yeah,
The
that
La.
car's been bulletproof.
Love the La.
I love that car. It's my
Yeah.
favorite. What else do you want to talk about?
Nothing, I'm done.
No,
You're
you're not
done?
done.
I am.
You are? Okay. Well, say bye to everybody first. That's rude.
Well, bye everybody out there. Welcome to our channel and please return. We love you guys.
Ooh, love that. Thank
Love
you.
that.
Good.
That was good.
You're a natural.
I am, huh?
You're a natural piece of shit.